So, does anyone remember what the first limb of the 8 limbs of yoga is? Yeah, yama. And what's the second limb? Yama, yeah. And do we lose someone? Okay, Trevor. Um, third limb, asana, so the postures. And then the fourth limb is pranayama, which means breath control. So prana is like energy, life force, and yama is like to control, restrain, so the control of the breath. So those are the first four limbs of yoga, and it's in a order for a reason. So like those first two yamas and niyamas are like moral disciplines, observances, kind of to train ourselves and to control our energies and all that. Okay. So let's move on to the next of the 8 limbs of yoga. So so the yamas are kind of like the nose, right? There's ahimsa, nonviolence; satya, truthfulness; asteya, non-stealing; brahmacharya, right use of energy; and apigraha, non-hoarding, non-grasping. The niyamas, the yeses, are saucha, cleanliness; santosha, contentment; tapas, which is discipline or heat. Good. And svadhyaya, which is self-study, self-observation; and ishvara pranidhana, which is like a surrender to your teacher or some sort of divine higher power. So asanas, postures. There's a yoga sutra that talks about being comfortably seated, so finding a place between effort and ease. And in all of the postures, not only do we physically want to feel comfortable and content, but also within our mind, we want the mind to feel really still and focused. Pranayama, right, the breath work for energy control, our vital life force of energy. And then the fifth limb of the 8 limbs of yoga is called pratyahara, which means sense withdrawal. So there's a way yoga teachers kind of do, Ryan, that's an awesome picture of you. A class that would be like a pratyahara class where you'd wear like a bandana or a blindfold the whole time. So you're really focusing in and releasing any like physical distractions. So to take in kind of the sensory, to like really draw it in, decreasing the sensory information you take in. So mindfully focusing on one sense at a time. So in that final shavasana or in our meditation, we are kind of doing that, focusing just on like our sense of hearing, our sense of smell, our touch, taste. So really kind of mindfully paying attention. So yeah, drawing your energy from the senses to your center. So sight, sound, smell, touch, taste, finding that external rotation in your breath to help find control over our external into our internal. So where we want to put our and direct our energy, control and direct energy where we want it to go. So when we really focus and pay attention and notice, then we can really control how we behave and make better decisions. So that's pratyahara, sense withdrawal. And the next yama is called dharana. So the 6 and 7 kind of go together. Dharana and dhyana. So it sounds very similar. Dharana is concentration and dhyana is meditation. So dharana, they are two separate things. So concentration, strongly focused attention with the mind. So holding the mind steady. Focus of energy and attention. And there's something called anapanasati, which is a breath where you just focus on the inhale, focus on the exhale. And it's something, if you like practice for a while and really focus and just breathe in and breathe out, you can have a really calming effect on the body and also train your mind. So there have been like studies where people have like ADD and ADHD, doing like breathing exercises and guided meditation and sensory things like that can really help like calm and focus and have really positive impacts. So concentrating on the in and out breath, There's also something in yoga, bless you, called drishti. So drishti is your gaze, your focus point. So to direct effort and build concentration when we fix our internal focus. So you can think of like you're in a really hard like dancer pose and you're like kicking your leg back and you're just looking at one thing, like kick, 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 go, 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 reach, reach, reach. So like drishti is your like physical, like look at something so you won't go off balance. But there's also like a deeper internal gaze concentration. So where we fix our internal focus. So there's a practice called Tritaka, which is a visual concentration technique called like a candle gazing. If you've ever like been around a fire, like a fireplace, fire pit, or like looked at a candle on a table, and sometimes it just like you like go right in and you're almost like in a trance if you have a really good stare. Does that ever happen to you? Like even anything, you're like, oh, good stare. So that can be a meditation practice where you light a candle and you just look at the candle and like watch the flame kind of flicker and move, notice. And so dharana, this concentration, helps with our clarity in our thought process. So the chitta, the mind, is like compared to a monkey in a jungle, like swimming from branch to branch. Like our mind's like, pew, 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 like gotta pick up the kids, and then I have dinner, and then I have the meeting, and da 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 da, and like grocery shopping, gotta vacuum, and don't forget to email Trevor, and like da 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 da, you know, like all of the things. So concentration lets us like slow down and focus, and we can think about like monotasking instead of multitasking. Like I'm driving and I'm texting and I'm like you know, like listen to music and I want to change the song and like all the things. It gets really stressful and it's like taxing on our bodies and our system. So being able to slow down, monotask, really focus on one thing at a time, just like benefit our lives in so many ways. So the dharana concentration, a single pointed focus on the mind or concentration. So where the breath is coming and going, focus on the nostrils to train the mind to focus where you want it to go. And that really starts to translate. So when you can focus and control your breath, then you can focus and control your energy and your attention. So have you ever had like a big chunk of time and you're like, all right, I'm gonna write my to-do list. I'm gonna like clean, I'm gonna do laundry, I'm gonna like take my dog on a walk, and then I have to send this email, and I'm gonna write this like content, and like, and then you just like end up going down a rabbit hole like on your phone, or you just like start watching TV and like nothing gets done. Your like behavior is gonna get out of the way. Like that's definitely happened to me. So being able to really slow down and control our breath will help us like control our behavior. So that's sixth limb dharana, concentration. So dhyana, the seventh limb, meditation. So in its sense, going beyond thought. This is in preparation for the eighth limb, which is samadhi. Um, so dhyana, to rest in effortless stillness. So that place where we're quiet in our mind with our thoughts. And it's not sleep yet, but it's almost like a like trippy place of stillness. So meditation, um, sitting in the seat of the Atman. So in yoga philosophy, it's like the soul, like the divine. Like in these like religions, it's believed that there's not like one like monotheistic God, like God in heaven, Father, Son, but like God is in all of us and everywhere. And I know this is a Christian school. Are you all like do are you Christian? Do you go to church? Is that like important to you, or is that just like your regular college students and it's like medium-ish? Yeah, nice. And you don't have to like answer. Obviously, it's super personal. Um, but no matter what your beliefs are, I think having some sort of faith in something bigger than you is a really powerful like guiding light, so you don't feel like alone or lonely or lost. So just kind of those tools of like prayer and meditation. And yeah, and like yogic philosophy, it's believed that like God is inside of us. So when we're meditating in that dhyana, um, feel like the soul of the self, the seat of the self, like the part of you that when you were born was like perfect and is divine. And so really like connecting to like the incredible existence of the body. So that's meditation, immersion in presence experience, just being filled without any effort. And the eighth limb, which some people might think is like the goal of yoga, is samadhi. So samadhi is a state of oneness, a sense of union with self and all other things around you, feeling union with everything around you. I think this is like especially appropriate because, and I'm sure people have always been saying this, but like now more than ever, our country is so divided and people are so angry at each other and like hateful and horrible, and no one can understand each other, and we won't slow down to even listen. And if only we could see that like we're all the same, like we might like look different or have different accents or believe in different things, but like feeling a sense of like oneness, like you're a human and I'm a human, like we're both like, we both have parents, we were both like born, you know, we all want like certain things for our lives, and just connecting to the similarities, like finding that connection, and even like reaching out to people who are like different than you and trying to make friends with them or like hear a different side of an opinion. So that's kind of thinking about like union, which is also like the definition of yoga, right? To yoke, connect, to come together. Um, and other people think of samadhi like this bliss state, like almost like, I don't know if I should say it, but like, you know, if you're like taking mushrooms or acid or like a psychedelic drug and you're like, whoa, and like everything is like bright and beautiful and you're like drifting up, like tripping, although I'm sure none of you have ever had an experience like that. That's almost like not that, and I'm not like saying like go do drugs or anything, not at all. But you know, like if you meditate and you get so like calm, it's like it's almost like everything is brighter, like you can see clearer. And sometimes people have experiences like that, like spiritual experiences, or if anyone's ever done like a cold plunge, you're like, ah, like freezing cold, and then you're like wake up and you're like high, you're like, wow, I am so alive, or like that runner's high, or you know, so many different experiences, like falling in love. So that's kind of what like samadhi is. You're just like so blissed out, like nothing touches you. You're like walking around like you're on a cloud. Um, and so that's not really like, what am I trying to say? So it's like that can be almost like a goal of yoga, like get in this place of bliss where like nothing will aggravate you and you're just like happy go lucky all the time. But that's also like not super practical. Like, you know, like your roommate's gonna leave some dirty dishes out, or like your mom's gonna annoy you, or like life is gonna happen. So just maybe having like little moments of that like enlightenment, like, oh, that was like a really good practice, and I feel super clear, and I know what my focus is. I know what my dharma is now. So connecting to that union, and then the like liberation from bondage. So all of the things that get us down, like stress and pressure and grades and like, what am I going to be when I grow up, and like all the things, um, being able to detach from that and connect to like a place deep in of like, this is my truth. Like, I know I'm going to be fine. I have everything I need. Like, kind of connecting to that place of samadhi, so that like divine light within. So absorption in the present. So that's the 8 limbs of yoga: the yamas, niyamas, the asanas, the postures, the breath, pratyahara, sense withdrawal, dharana, concentration, dhyana, meditation, and samadhi, like a place of bliss or absorption. So those are the 8 limbs, kind of like the imprint um, of yoga. And someone asked, I think it was Lauren, about where I can like find this in the book to see a little more clearly. How's everyone's reading coming along? Has anyone started doing any reading yet? No? Okay. Or yes? So the 8 limbs of yoga are in our book somewhere. I think I have it marked. Maybe? Maybe it's closer to the beginning. Anyway, I have it somewhere, so I'll email you or post a Moodle. Maybe it's here. About 8 limbs. So you can really like see it clearly written and understand that. Breath is the intelligence of the body. Does anyone have any questions? Comments? Commentary? Does it make sense how like you could apply this to your life? Oh, okay, I found it. So page 97 is the yamas and niyamas, behavior towards ourselves and others. Developing the yamas, and then page 107 talks about pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. Okay, so it's 105. I don't want to like overwhelm you, so we'll leave it there. And yeah, then I'll see you guys on Tuesday. And if you're on Zoom, just make sure you email me your journals by the end of the day. Okay.